So, from like a biomechanical perspective, what would you say are the top physical benefits that ballet dancers can gain from incorporating regular strength training into their training regimen or routine?
First of all, I love biomechanics. I wish I had done my graduate thesis in something biomechanics related, but I was doing it during COVID, and so we had to shift online. Literally, COVID happened right before we started our thesis projects. But anyway, I digress. When we're looking at biomechanics for ballet, this is kind of a tough question to answer because there's a lot of benefits for just resistance training in general. But when I think about specifically to ballet, I think a lot about like balance, leg height, jumps, like using their plie, and all of those cues that kind of come to mind that you often hear from teachers of like putting the heels on the ground to like then push off the floor like from a jump, and being able to get into that deeper plie to get more stretch on the muscle and the tendon, and then use that as for power to actually produce a powerful jump, not only training those tendons, but also training like the mobility of the joint or the flexibility of the muscle to like get that maximum positioning before we do a jump, for instance. So the component, I for sure that benefit is there. Increased strength is obviously going to be there as well, but where it shows up is more of, like, the little things, I would say. Like, you have your leg out to développé à la seconde, and you have to hold it for 8 counts, and by the 8th count, you're not shaking and, like, gripping your quads so much that you're gonna cry. You can hold it up there. Maybe you could hold it for 16 counts and feel great. So, it's those sorts of moments that I think are more eye-opening for ballet dancers that do start to do strength training. Everything just feels a bit easier, and therefore they can enjoy it a little more.
Yes, and like I mentioned about even just myself and like thinking back to what I did or did not do, like I think there's just so many things like in terms of strength training and even just some stability work that I could have done that could have really helped me a lot with, what I was doing both as a student and a professional. So, and then even now I think too about like when I started teaching dance, to me, that's a whole new kind of opens up a whole new perspective as well. And you start to figure out things like, oh my gosh, I wish I had known this when I was dancing. And I know for me, one main thing when I started teaching and like especially working on pirouettes with my students, because, everyone wants to do more pirouettes.
Yes.
That's everyone's number one goal. I'm sure you encounter that with your sessions that you do with your students. And, we get so focused on the legs and the feet and turns. And one thing I think upper body is actually so important in like holding your back muscles, your shoulder muscles, your arms while you turn. And especially, I mean, even like fouettes, you do move your arms while you're turning. And I think like that's kind of an area that gets overlooked a lot. With dancers, since a lot of the things we do, they're focused on the legs or the core, hips, feet, and so upper body gets neglected a bit, I think. At least I don't know. What do you think? That's kind of my personal take.
Yes, no, definitely. I think dancers are that connect, and I think that connection between understanding upper body strength and how it's gonna help you dance is still a bit lost, and to be honest, I have trouble explaining it sometimes to dancers because we use the upper body so much for placement and aesthetics to show off the leg, but I think what a lot of dancers don't realize is that stability and like core stability also includes your back. And that correction you're getting from your teachers about bringing the shoulders back and down, like that's going to be upper body strength and alignment as well. So I would say, yeah, I would say the same thing, that it's just it's like the cherry on top for me. It's like you could strain only lower body and you could see some benefits in your dancing. But once you add in the upper body, everything just kind of clicks and comes together.
Absolutely. And even just, I feel like it makes you even more, like even like doing some strength stuff for your upper body makes you just more aware of those muscles and like how they can be used.
Mhm.
Because so often when, like you said, our arms kind of just, we try to make these different positions in ballet, and, like, it's all about, like, okay, what does that arabesque look like? Is it a good position? Would it be good in a photograph?
Mhm.
And so we kinda just put our arms in these positions, but aren't always, like, actively really using the muscles. They're kinda just, like, I don't know, placed.
Right, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? To kind of achieve the look and then, like, okay, check, like, that's enough for the arms.
Yes.
So, yes, I think full body approach is ideal, but I mean, just working on lower body and core obviously has many benefits as well. But just wanted to throw that in there. So that's kind of been like a aha moment for myself over the years as I've taught and things like that.